Well, I put in 2 mound systems here back in roughly 2004, and the property owners never built the houses here, and they want to list the properties for sale. And over all these years that have gone by, there's been a couple risers that have gotten damaged. Man, I hope I don't get stuck in here. Just got a ton of rain. And so what we're going to do is get back in here and repair some risers. This thing got hit pretty hard with a mower. All right, let's get this thing fixed. Oh man. All right, plan B. find when using this rapid set, especially in warmer conditions, middle of the summer, that this rapid set will set up really fast, and it's nice to keep brushing that right where that mortar is the thickest. It gets really hot and it tends to dry out quickly and want to shrink just a little bit, even though it's non-shrink grout. And by wiping it like this, keeping it cool, keeping a little moisture on there, it really helps prevent those cracks from forming. Pretty cool day today. Probably don't need to do this, but all right, and there it is, all installed, all finished, backfilled around it. And I wanted to take a minute and go over a few of the things that I did here on this project that maybe wasn't so obvious. So because that riser was so short, I decided to replace the whole riser. Now what I could have done is used something like this, which is an inner coupler for these risers. So what I could have done is I could have cut the inside of the riser. I could have removed, let's say, the top 6 to 12 inches of that riser, leaving the bottom mortared to the tank, and then used epoxy and basically applied it above and below this seam here, set this into the riser, set a new riser section on that, and basically just epoxied, or if you want to say glued, an extension on and then put a lid on it. So I could have done that, but I think because the riser was so short, this is a much better outcome, just putting a whole new riser on there. And so yeah, the process for me was dig down all the way around the outside, try to get a foot all the way around the outside of that riser. And I knew, because I installed this tank about 20 years ago, that this tank has an inset built in or casted into the tank that these risers sit down into. And I know from experience that you can bust that old mortar out of that inset and be able to set a riser right back into that spot. So yeah, the digging bar, that was definitely going to be a challenge. I'm glad I brought that jackhammer with me, and I was able to bust that mortar out of that old joint, set the new riser piece in there, just mix up some rapid set grout and fill it in around that joint. And I like using that brush and a little bit of water to smooth off that mortar. Yeah, you can use a trowel to do this too, but I'm just used to using my hands. And yeah, so pretty simple project, but wanted to share with you, you know, this is also the other method if you just need to fix a riser. Now let's say this riser was like a 3-foot riser. So in other words, this tank was buried real deep and we had a big tall riser on there, and just the top part of that riser was broken. Yeah, I would have cut the top bad piece off and used something like this, because otherwise we'd have been into a deep dig all the way down to the top of the tank. And if you were to add up that labor, I think it would have been worth it to use this. But that's how we got it done. And hope you enjoyed this video on doing a riser replacement on a cast concrete septic tank. Hope you guys be safe out there, and we'll catch you next time. Over and out.